We provide women support in the way of community, connections, and content. So we provide workshops. Like right now, we're offering a Goal Getters workshop for January. That's a cohort that will kind of take you through the entire year, helps you set value-based goals so that you're doing the things that you feel you should be doing and the kinds of goals you should be obtaining, not the ones others think you should be, which I think is important for professional women. We're also offering up a monthly mastermind on digital IQ to just help you learn how to do better SEO, better AI.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Amy Vaughan. She's the Chief Empowerment Officer at Together Digital. Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you. So Amy, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So I am, as you said, the Chief Empowerment Officer. That still stands for CEO, which means I run the day-to-day operations for an organization called Together Digital. It's a national networking community of women who work in digital marketing, advertising, and tech. They choose to share their knowledge, power, and connection so that we can all rise further faster. Fun fact, I was actually a member first, enjoyed the benefits of being a member in the sense that I found community and solidarity, was able to up my skills, get speaking opportunities, find talent, and hire new people. And then in 2019, got the opportunity to step in as CEO, eventually became partner, and then owned the business at the end of 2021. And I've been running it ever since. So I'm definitely a product of the community and what strong connections and networking can really do for you. So it's an honor every day to be able to do what I do.
Oh, I love that. That sounds like a great story. Not only you professionally kind of building up, working your way through the organization, truly being, passionate about the work that's being done, and seeing the effects not only in yourself but in others. So that's fascinating. Tell me a little bit more, about Together Digital and the community.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Of course, I'm biased, but we've been around since 2016. We provide women support in the way of community, connections, and content. So we provide workshops. Like right now, we're offering a Goal Getters workshop for January. That's a cohort that will kind of take you through the entire year, helps you set value-based goals so that you're doing the things that you feel you should be doing and the kinds of goals you should be obtaining, not the ones others think you should be, which I think is important for professional women. We're also offering up a monthly mastermind on digital IQ to just help you learn how to do better SEO, better AI. We're kind of like running the gamut of digital marketing skills. And so that's something else our members will be able to enjoy. And that's all virtual. So while we offer a number of virtual programs, including an amazing Slack community that's there kind of at your fingertips, a job seekers peer group, dedicated peer groups. We also do in-person events because that's not enough, right? We also love to get together in person. We've got several cities throughout the country that get together on a quarterly basis. And then we also have our national annual conference, which I host here in Cincinnati. The Midwest is where we have a stronghold, but these women are just wonderful in the sense that they are so giving. Somebody I was once speaking to gave me this amazing gift of being able to encapsulate it, because sometimes it's hard when you find something like this. It's like the intersectionality of expertise and generosity. That's what you'll find within our community is women who know what they're talking about and they want to share it with you and they want you to succeed in every way possible, and not just in digital, but in all things in life. So we talk about motherhood, the choice of not being a mom. We talk about caretaking. We talk about our pets, you name it. Nothing's off the table with this group. So we are really allowed to show up who you are as you are and be seen and heard, which I love.
I love that.
We all need.
Yeah, I know. And especially too, I think, I like that it's focused in a certain kind of industry, because a lot of people may not understand what it's like to be, in that tech marketing space. So to be able to have that community of women who understand, to be able to, like you said, have those in person or have those speaking engagements online. Talk to me a little bit more about, the benefits and what comes along with being a member in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned before, the online community is probably one of the most valuable assets. I don't know how many of us have like an army of awesome, amazing, knowledgeable women at our fingertips, but we get an average of 1 to 3 asks a day, and every single one of those asks get answered. And it's always thoughtful and intentional, bulleted lists and links or offers for virtual coffee. As I mentioned, we also do the peer groups, dedicated peer groups. Can't overemphasize the importance of having your own personal board of directors. In this area, obviously, digital, it's a quick changing, ever changing landscape, but then we're also just trying to thrive personally. And so having your own personal board of directors, people that you can sort of be transparent with in a safe space, can really help you navigate those trickier scenarios and areas in which you might be coming up against either personal, interpersonal, or professional problems. It's just a really great group to be with. And we match you up based on an application. As I mentioned, virtual peer groups as well, or sorry, virtual peer groups for our job seekers, actually, and for entrepreneurs. That's been a new evolving thing. I love seeing the number of women who are getting out there and starting their own businesses. So we provide a lot of support in the way of a peer group once a month and a mastermind once a month for entrepreneurs. We have job boards. We have a whole library of past content. Thanks to everything that happened with COVID, we had to pivot hard away from in-person events and into virtual. But the beauty of that was, one, everybody could always get there, right? You don't have to worry about traffic, and everything's recorded. So we have this tremendous library of content, just running the gamut of everything digital and professional. Like I said, we talk a lot about our personal lives as well. We are whole people. And so it's really great to know that there's just a library of content out there that's really well-rounded in that sense. So whatever she's looking for, this is why I do one-on-one onboarding for all of our members, because everyone comes to us usually through word of mouth, which is why opportunities like this we're always so grateful for. But then also, there's just so much that you could get out of the group. And it really kind of depends on what you need. For me, it was more professional female connections. I was heads down creative director for 14, 15 years, very much steeped in the business and the work that I was doing. I never lifted my head up and looked around me, didn't spend time building, a tremendous network or connections. My reputation for my work was in the place, but nobody knew exactly who I was and what I stood for. And so that group really gave me that opportunity and that ability. So
And I really like how you mentioned, that the importance of having that one-on-one onboarding, because I think that adds a different layer of personalization, because,
yes.
Together Digital is it's a small, independently owned, mission-based business. So, there certainly comes with its own challenges of building out, your brand. And I think if you're starting off on the foot of saying, this is who I am, like, while, I'm chief empowerment officer, I'm CEO, I'm still on the ground doing the work every day, just like everybody else.
Yeah, I think for women, especially, making leadership and whatever level you're at, accessible to women is extra important. I think anytime we build barriers between women getting the chance to kind of be in and around executives, it's perpetuating the problem. So my virtual door, I say, is always open. I just leverage time boxing and time blocking to manage my calendar, to know that every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, I have a time available. I have a Calendly, that's my personal assistant. People have my calendar, they can pick their time, and it's always there. And people are always like, and I appreciate that they appreciate my time, but their time is just as valuable to me as it is theirs is to mine. So it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. I'm definitely one of those like flat organization type gals. And so I really want to build a community and a culture that really helps anyone at any point in their career journey learn from each other. Obviously, because, as somebody who mentors, I learn just as much from my mentees as, I hope that they learn from me. And so creating and providing access to women at all levels is definitely something that's very important. So I'm going to model that behavior right away by offering up my calendar to any new member to say, I want to spend time with you. I want to know why you're here. And I want to point you in the right direction to make the best use of your time while you're with us. So
Do you think that, having that accessibility is one of the keys that allows you to build a network and build that community within Together Digital?
Absolutely. I mean, my ear's on the ground. I'm listening to our customer every day. I know why they're here. I know what they need. If something's not going well and they leave, I also seek them out and look for feedback, advice, things like that. It really does. It helps me be closer. And it's funny, we didn't do these before the pandemic. It was something that we started after the pandemic. And I think back to how we were modeled before, very much an in-person events type of organization with an annual conference. And, we didn't have the privilege of knowing our members as intimately as we do now. And now I can look across the country and really have the opportunity to pair up women that would never have had the chance to get together before, from different sides of the country. It's been amazing. I really do enjoy it.
So, it sounds too like one of the ways that, Together Digital is really able to differentiate itself from other organizations is, like you said, having those in-person events, but also being virtual and also being specialized in kind of that tech digital marketing space. Talk to me about, some other ways that Together Digital is really able to separate itself and why someone should choose to join Together Digital.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of folks say that they're looking for authentic. Authentic, it's a word in marketing, especially that gets thrown around, but it's something you can say as many times as you would like in your marketing and your advertising. It's not until you get in and experience it that you're like, oh, these people are for real. As somebody who is a bit of an ambivert, which means I'm extroverted when I need to be, but deep down I'm introverted. I need my time alone to recharge, right? You feel me? And so, I really come at networking, and I think a lot of women do come at networking from a different standpoint. We don't want to just have it be transactional. We want it to be transformational. We don't want to just make fast friends and exchange favors and then let it go. We want to build relationships. And I think that that's kind of what's different about our community is it's not just a touch and go thing. It doesn't have a sorority vibe. There are no cliques. There's no drama. It's really a group of really thoughtful, intentional, kind, generous, like I said, expert women who are genuinely out to help you. And I think that's such a rare thing to find. And it's such a good feeling to have, to know that you're a part of something bigger. It's more than a movement. It's creating the kinds of cultures and spaces that we all want to see exist out in the world elsewhere as well. And so it's kind of hard to encapsulate. Hopefully I did it justice. But time and time again, it's really about getting in there, taking the time for yourself to put some time into something like this and find out what you get in return. I think that's another thing too. Women in particular, get on my soapbox for just a second, we don't network enough. There is a networking gap. We network less than men. And because of it, we lose out on opportunities like pay raises, promotions, new job opportunities. Like 75% of jobs aren't even listed. And then another 70% or so are hired on referral. So we are missing out on a huge hidden job market because we don't want to get out and network, because it's icky, because it's hard, because it gets awkward, because let's be honest, sometimes we get hit on and asked for our phone numbers for the wrong reasons. So kind of creating this whole safe space where women can kind of practice networking and gain stronger relationships, friendships, even within the community, then get out there and do more networking externally. It just really helps you to kind of have that safe space to start. So I really do believe we are that. And that's, again, why I'm so passionate about continuing the work, because like I said, networking feels like a dirty word. It doesn't need to be. I've seen what our community can do. It has transformed women's lives and careers to the point of, I think our highest negotiated salary was $100,000 more a year than what she was making. That was a few years back. This year, I already had a member reach out and tell me that she received 2 promotions that ended up equaling about $40,000 a year. We've had several women start new businesses together. We've had women negotiate paid leave for the first time for their small startup company. So we've been able to show up and help support women in kind of countless ways. And it's always awesome to see, but it's really only if you take the time and put the effort in. It's not going to show up at your door. You have to go looking for those communities and spaces that can provide you with opportunity.
I think that's so powerful. I've got goosebumps. I don't know if you saw me shiver, but I was like, oh my gosh, that's so powerful. That's a tremendous, like you said, it's more than a movement, that it's that support. And I feel like a lot of women may not necessarily get that support professionally within their own jobs. It's also a challenge, like you said, to be, whatever roles that, a woman may be in, they may not be feeling that same support, that same, nurturing environment in other aspects of their life. So to have a space where like you can come, you can show up as yourself, yourself raw, in whatever form that you are, and know that you're going to be supportive and you're going to receive advice is so powerful.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think I've been really proud over the last few years and seeing the numbers and like our diversity grow, the number of women of color that have joined, women over 50 that have joined, women who, identify as LGBTQIA, including trans members. And then another emerging group has been our neurodivergent group, which I love because they're giving us insights on how they would like to share and be communicated with or experience events. And we're able to kind of think about those things and be more intentional and inclusive on all levels with those things. And then when you do that, the way that people show up, it's just beautiful. So for example, our national conference every year, we do peer groups because again, we're all about those small groups. Big networking and big rooms sometimes feels hard. I love small rooms and big conversations. So every one of our registrants, one, we keep the conference down at 150. We don't go above that because otherwise you feel like a number in the room and not a person being seen and heard. Second, we put you in a peer group because sometimes it's hard to walk into a room full of strangers and think, I got to walk away with some connections. So we actually put you in groups that we think will vibe well together, that will talk and work well together, that are in similar spaces. And it is just magical. It's my favorite part of the day because I get to sit down and shut up and just listen or watch as these women of 5 to 10 sit down and they get into the deepest conversations so fast. And then we've actually put it before lunch now because I've learned over years past, they don't want to stop talking. The connections are so real and so true and so good. I'm like, you know what? Go to lunch together, continue the conversation. And that's exactly what they did this year. It was wonderful to see. So really trying to create those intentional environments, whether virtual or physical, to be more inclusive has been another big aspect and focus point for me.
I think that's terrific. So, Amy, pivoting a little bit, is there anything coming down the pipeline, anything in the works that you're excited about with Together Digital looking forward?
Lots, actually. This is planning season. So we're looking at our annual member survey data. We are planning, like I said, our series of masterminds for 2024. I have a Power Lounge podcast in which I'm always bringing in guests from women who have power to share that work in the digital space to come and talk about. That's really awesome. We also have just launched, although it's not up on the website yet, it will be soon, is the Together Foundation. So we provide a lot of granted memberships out of our own pockets to provide memberships for women who can't afford them. And so what we are doing is opening up this foundation so we can take donations, apply for grants, so that we can then fund some of those women who need support of finances in order to receive a membership to gain all these amazing benefits. And this is going to be huge for our job seekers as well, because obviously women are being disproportionately let go, especially in this tech sphere. For that. And then planning all of our events locally and nationally for next year. This is planning season. So that's big. And then I also have a growth plan that I'm working on, and it's a bigger piece of tech that we are looking to help make networking more approachable, accessible and equitable, quite honestly, for women. So we're kind of starting with the community and building the tech and with the community's informed opinion, which they have plenty, which is wonderful. It's what we want. Definitely more to come on that. But this is a whole new area for me. We received a grant for our MVP and single feature prototype. And we're going to leverage that to look for additional funding to then build our beta and then leverage our community as beta. And then we're going to open this puppy up. We're going to help match people based on their vertical and their industry. Because like we said, that's an important thing to kind of have that understanding, that mutual understanding of career pathing, journey, subject matter expertise. But to really make that matching something that is very cohesive and very relevant. Hell, if I can go and find my husband, which I did not find my husband on a dating app, but lots of my friends have, if you can go find a partner for the rest of your life, like why can you not find great networking connections? So that's something that we're working on as well that I'm really excited about. So more to come on that.
I love that. That's a great little bit to leave our listeners with. That's awesome. Well, Amy, as we start to wrap up, is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with, whether it be advice, anything more about, women in tech, the industry, networking, anything you want to leave our listeners with?
Oh gosh, probably a couple of things. I would say definitely, whether it's Together Digital or some other community, get out there and find your network. If you're job seeking and you're not networking, you're not job seeking. Like, you need to do both. It's equal parts applying and actually getting out there and getting your face in front of other people one way or another. So definitely look and find your community. I'm a product of this community, and what getting up and like going to a networking event, I never would have thought. Back in, September of 2016 is when I walked into my first, then Women in Digital, was called Women in Digital at the beginning, but Together Digital event. I had no idea I was walking into the room with a business I would eventually own. Like, this is what happens when you get out of the four walls of your cubicle and just get out there. So I'll leave you with that. I just encourage you to kind of get outside your comfort zone, find a safe place for you to network in, especially ladies. And if you're an ally out there, please encourage your women to do this. Give them the time and space. Let them know it's okay to come in a little late to work because they've attended a network event. Husbands, partners, let your partner know that she can come home a little later. Dinner can be figured out. Kids can be blah, blah, blah. Give her that time. Give her that time in that space. I think we don't take enough of it. So thank you. I appreciate this. This has been great.
This has been a terrific conversation. I appreciate all of your insights, all of your advice. I think it's been very empowering for me personally. And I look forward to staying in touch and watching Together Digital grow.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity again. I appreciate it.
Great to have you.